Hello and welcome to No There's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 81. The day today is the 26th of April 2015. So it's back to basics. And you know what, Joe? I'm not going to call you Simple Joe anymore. I've done it the last 2 weeks. I think I'm just going to go back to Joe.
Thank you.
That's a peace offering like that.
Right, well, I'm just glad it hasn't become a pattern.
Some sort of hashtag, maybe. That's what I was hoping, but it didn't pick up any steam, so...
Ha! You don't know social media.
I don't. I really, really don't. I'm not even going to argue against that.
You know what that also means, though, if it's just the two of us? No more sound effects.
Yeah, I can talk without scrutiny. I'm free from all the gays and all the boos and all the laughs and all the screams. I'm just free to ramble and talk about nothing and complain. So liberating.
I kind of miss the sound effects though already. We're only 20 seconds in, and I kind of miss it.
I don't. Not that much.
Fine.
So, how are we this week?
Well, I've already discussed the banana milkshake with you.
Okay, well, it would be a crime if you didn't share it with everyone else.
I have made a banana. Usually I have a cup of tea for these things, or maybe some squash, or maybe even some alcohol from time to time. This time I went with milkshake, hand blended. No, it's not really, but handmade. And I must say, it's very, very refreshing.
Because of all the vodka you put in there?
Well, you've got to spice it up a little bit.
Well, you're not dead yet, so...
No, anything just to make the podcast bearable.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
I know that you're a bit bitter.
No.
In life.
Simple old Joe, I'm fine over here.
Just stewing in the corner like you.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll show you one day.
Rocking back and forth. I have a rocking chair.
Do you?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
I had a rocking chair as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a rocking chair or a horse?
It was a chair. But it wasn't like a proper old style... a chair that you would die in by a fireplace one.
Old lady one. Yeah,
one of those. It was more just like a simple wooden chair that had like a curved wooden bit at the bottom, like 2 of them, so it could rock back and forth. That was a lot of fun.
Simple chair, you say?
Yeah.
Sounds like my type of chair.
My type of chair right there.
Mm.
Although I don't know why my mum thought it was okay for us to have it. Because, of course, you would jump in it, rock as hard as you could backwards and go flying into the wall and bang your head and then cry and be like, how could this happen to me? So it wasn't very responsible, but it was still fun.
Well, that makes you think, how on earth do old ladies survive in those types of chairs?
Well, they just don't have the energy.
If they a little bit too far back one time, they're out. They're not getting back up again.
Well, how would they go that far back?
A gust of wind.
They could do it.
They're very frail.
You're just like, I just went to go see old Granny. It's like, did you leave the window open? It's a windy day.
No, Granny!
Yes, I did! Just come back. She's gone. It's all over. Damn you, wind!
There you are. Be careful. Be careful of open windows and frail old ladies, children.
Yeah, it's a dangerous combination. Don't combine old women, rocking chairs, and windows on a gusty day.
This has been a public service announcement from Nope There's Only Trash Here podcast. Thank you.
Yep. It's not just trash. There's useful information that you can apply to everyday life.
You know what? I realise we've said that practically every episode now. I think at some point this just isn't going to work. We're going to keep saying it. It's just not working.
Keep saying what? What do you mean?
That it was so useful and not at all just about trash, and you learn stuff from this podcast.
Yeah, what have you learnt?
Oh, so many things, Tom.
Oh, right, sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so many, too many to name and list. I just can't.
Well, you learnt about all the things I don't like. That's something.
Like I say, it's too long to list.
Just too many.
There's just too many things.
So here's interesting, something I didn't mention last week, but I'll mention now, is that I've started doing podcast clips on my main channel. So a shout out to anyone listening. If there's any clips in particular that really stood out to you, or you think it's funny, or were just interesting, or just anything that stood out in these episodes, then let me know, and I'll take a look, edit it, and put it as a clip so you can just listen to it easily whenever you want. But the interesting thing about it is that I have started listening to old episodes, and I think we talked about this before when it was like the 2-year anniversary of the podcast, but it is weird listening to those things. Like, it's so weird to go back in time and listen to like that snapshot of what I was rambling about, and you and your tea or whatever, you and your biscuits for that week. It is actually like just odd to do that.
They are very fleeting. I would say.
That's a good word.
They exist in the moment, and that is it.
Well, it is because I went back and listened to the Trashies.
Oh, the Trashies.
And that was like, oh, I remember the Trashies. Such good times. But that was the end of 2013.
That's sad.
Like, we were doing the podcast when The Last of Us came out, and then we did a whole thing talking about how good it was. But that's crazy to me to think about.
Oh, stop with this, please, Tom.
Listen, Joe, we're going to die.
No,
we're getting old.
Stop it.
We're all going to be in our rocking chairs.
That means
we're
I would
all
have
going to have a gust of wind.
End of 2013, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have been, what, 22? Ah, those were the days.
Oh, dear.
Wait, would I? Yeah.
Wait, 22?
No, I've been 21. No, 21.
I thought I was older than you.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Yes.
God, hang on a minute. Yeah, I think I've been 21. Oh, those were the days.
Oh. What are you, 22?
Yes.
Oh, to be 21 again.
Yeah, but no, it is weird, isn't it? I'm glad you've caught on to the weirdness.
Yeah. And that was a good podcast as well. I was enjoying listening to it.
That's a sign. That's a good sign when you can listen to your own voice.
Of how much of my ego is out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, not whether it's any good or not. That's got nothing to do with this. It's just a good sign about your ego.
Just how much I am in love with myself that I'm like, preach it. That game,
preach it, me.
Game is bad. But yeah, because like I was trying to find clips in general, and then I saw one episode where the description was Muckluck try Skyrim. So I was like, hey, that could be an interesting one. I don't remember that. And the conversation went, you were like, oh, I was into like fantasy stuff because of The Hobbit.
Yep.
And I played Skyrim, and it wasn't bad.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, I don't want to talk about my opinions on the game. And you were like, no, go on. And then it was 10 minutes of me saying how bad it was and the things I didn't like about it. So I was like, oh, I guess that really sums up a lot about this podcast. That really is it in a clip.
Yeah. Do you plan to upload that? That could be the trailer. That could be the channel trailer.
Yeah, that could be. It really could be. But I was just like, what did Joe actually say? He played the game. He must have some thoughts and opinions. And I guess I just kind of trampled over them a little bit. But that's okay. Whatever. What's done is done.
And also, I probably didn't have any opinions of the game. Just to make you feel a little bit better.
Okay, well, do you remember any opinions? Or do you still have any opinions of Skyrim at this point? So I can sleep at night.
I didn't like all the talking. There's too much talking. I don't care about.
Just the podcast, mate. You can't say that sort of thing.
I don't care about this Swedish-sounding guy and his logs. All right, I just don't. I care about going. I liked killing all the skeletons. That was fun. Give me more skeletons, less Swedish guys.
Well, I don't think anyone's had that opinion.
Skyrim reviewed. Thank you.
Yeah, so to all the people that waited over a year for Joe's opinions on Skyrim, there you go. Boom.
Done. Any others we need to catch up on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll get back to you next week.
Okay.
When I have a look through some more episodes and see what's there.
I look forward to it.
Because I think the game you talked about the most is Crimes and Punishment. Like, that's the game you've talked about the most and your opinions on it.
Hang on, have I completed any other games since then? Probably not. No.
We did talk The Last of Us, but I think you talked more about Crimes and Punishment.
And then that was then put on to PSN for free, maybe about a month later.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually, to be fair, I got a decent amount of money back for that when I traded it back in, so I'm fine with that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad.
Just to sum up that storyline.
Yeah.
But so, we got a big topic to talk about. I'm excited. I know you are.
Biscuits?
No. We can do Biscuit Corner later. That's later in the podcast.
I haven't actually got any biscuits near me. I have a wrapper for a toffee crisp.
Oh.
But that's... Alright, no, let's go on to the actual topic then.
You know what? I find the toffee crisp to be dangerously underrated. I think it's a very good one.
It's brilliant. It's chewy, it's crispy, it's crunchy, it's chocolatey. Oh, it's everything.
See, nobody ever goes for the toffee crisp, but no one ever says no to a toffee crisp. That's the important part.
Are you their spokesperson now?
Maybe. I mean,
you're talking to the wrong crowd. I love them already.
Preaching to the choir.
They are a bit too small, but they're fine.
Listen, it's not the chocolate, it's the motion.
God.
Don't think too much about that.
No, I won't. Please get onto the film. Just get on with it.
Get on with it. Alright, move on. Okay, so the Avengers 2 Age of Ultron debuted this week over here in jolly old England. So I saw it. You saw it as well, right?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. So we can talk about it. So I guess I should quickly... A couple of things going into this. There will be some spoilers. Not major stuff. But obviously, if you want to go into the film fresh, we're going to talk about particular points in the film.
I'm just going to talk about everything.
Just everything?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'm not holding back.
I was speaking for myself there. So Joe's going to spoil everything.
Yep.
And I'm going to spoil some things.
Okay.
And then the second thing is that I'll quickly sum up my opinions on the first film. I thought it felt like a pointless movie. I just didn't really enjoy it. I felt the villain was weak. The action scenes weren't that great. It just felt very pointless and just more... Here's a load of characters together, but not really a proper film. And I just didn't really like it. It was too long and just a bit boring for me. So what did you think of Age of Ultron?
It was fine. That's it. That's my review over.
Okay, good. Because I was hoping to get yours out the way so I can go into mine in classic.
I know it's coming,
tradition.
so I'll chime in where I find suitable.
Okay, well, I thought it was good. I had problems with it, and I can absolutely see why you would say just fine, but I thought it was good. Definitely had problems, so... Okay, I'll focus on the good stuff. I think the action scenes were much better here. And also, the action scenes were just kind of better. They weren't on the same scale as Captain America 2. I think Captain America 2, one of its strengths and something I really like about that film, is that there's a lot of peril and threat felt in the ending with what happens with Hydra and their plan. It's very menacing. It's a plan that's been built up for years and years and years, and it's there's a lot of weight behind what's happening in that film. This one, I didn't feel it as much. Ultron's plan to destroy the globe, while it is a unique one, not that much weight to it. It felt more like they were trying to save that city rather than save the world. So I didn't really feel that much oh my god, they gotta save the world or otherwise it's, oh no, that's not gonna happen. It doesn't kind of build it up too well, I don't think. But, it was still, good action scene at the end there. So let's go into the bad part, even
Oh.
though I turned that compliment into a complaint.
So that's it for the good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I also like the characters more here. I like how everything is now so established that time isn't wasted on getting to know these characters because you already know them. And this film seems to understand that a lot more and actually show off the benefit of the MCU, which is you've seen the film behind the character, so here's now the character in a bigger story. I think this one pulled that off more than the first Avengers, because the first Avengers had to focus on the Avengers actually forming, but this one didn't.
Right.
So instead they got to introduce new characters and you get their kind of backstory. But now it's at the point with the MCU where you just accept all the characters being on screen. So my fear about this film is that it was going to be really messy because of how many characters they're ramming in. But I really didn't feel like that was the case. Like, that's something people have complained about. But I feel like you had, like, with Thor, you've got, like, 2 films. With Captain America, you got 2 films. Iron Man, you got 3 films. The Hulk is there as well. So you already know these characters. So I didn't feel like it was too messy. I felt it was very well done in that aspect.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I don't think it was like too all over the place. I mean, it's got to be to some extent because, like you say, the amount of characters in there. But none of them. Well, in fact, no. I think one of them did seem to have a little bit more screen time, but I think that's a good thing, and that was Hawkeye.
Sure.
I thought they actually made him relatively interesting, which is nice.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like Hawkeye in the first film. He just seemed like a prick with a bow and arrow. But this one, they give him more backstory. Again, because he's already a bit more established because he was in the first film. I actually also liked Hawkeye a lot more. He didn't just seem like a random guy who was there just to be there like he was in the first one.
Yeah, if anything, I think he seems like quite an important member now. Like before, he's like, "Oh, it's just Hawkeye. Here's the bow and arrow. It's funny." But now it's, I respect him more as a character.
Yeah. I also think with the first film, it was when Jeremy, whatever his name is, was really all over the place. Like, he was in so many films. He was big in The Hurt Locker. That's where he started. And then he was in Mission Impossible. Then he was in the Bourne, whatever that new Bourne film was.
Yeah.
And he was also in this. He was in The Town. Like, he was all over the place. So I was a bit sick of him when it came to the first film. But this one, the dust has settled a little bit. It was good. I liked him.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree. I think they shared up the screen time quite well between all the characters.
Yeah, and something I also quite like is that they did also get some backstory with these characters, because the Scarlet Witch, who is a new character, can like make you feel your worst fear and give you like these visions. So I think that was a really nice way where some of these characters get, these visions. And it's a nice way of doing the backstory without like bogging everything down, because it is ultimately a big film about the Avengers. So I thought that was a really nice way of doing it, where you got to see more of Black Widow, you got to see more of Captain America's past. It's a past we already knew about, but it was still really cool to kind of see that, and it didn't feel out of place because you knew it was all in that person's head. So I thought that was a really smart way of getting backstory in there, where otherwise it would have just felt tedious or just unnecessary.
Yeah, it kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone that way, so that's good.
So negative stuff. Well, I felt like the characters didn't make the film feel bloated. There were definitely plot lines that did. There's a romance between the Hulk and Black Widow, which I actually didn't mind at all. But it didn't actually really need to be in there. But I didn't mind it being in there. But I think the big one that stood out for me is that there are no repercussions for Iron Man creating Ultron. I don't feel like that's a spoiler. That happens very early on. But yeah, Tony Stark, because he's like too eager to have his technology advance and to build like this safe, secure network for the world, he creates Ultron, and there's no repercussion for it. At the end, it's all fine. Everyone's forgiven him. There's even a moment where Captain America is like attacks Iron Man, but that's not resolved. That's kind of just left there. And there's a few other unresolved stuff that I won't go into, because for the most part, you allow it. some stuff can just kind of be there as a moment, even though they don't wrap it up later on. You expect it to some extent, but I really felt like Iron Man should have had something come his way. Like, he had, like, no kind of negative effects. Or, like, the whole team obviously had negative effects because of Ultron, but Iron Man in particular never felt any sort of, direct, like, karma because of it. He was just allowed to continue on. Everyone's friends at the end and they move on. I thought that was really weird because it was his cockiness that caused everything in the film, all the bad stuff. So I wish there was a bit more of that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think of that whilst watching, but it is kind of like a Dr. Frankenstein scenario. So you'd think something would happen to him. Is there a plan? This is what I heard about the character of Ultron, is that, at least obviously in the comics, because there's bazillions of them, but he's a character that keeps coming back and keeps evolving to try and match the Avengers. So I don't know what the plan is. I think the guy who voiced him did a really good job. So I think it'll be nice to see it in some way. And I have a feeling maybe for the Civil War stuff, they're just going to throw everything in the pot. So maybe he'll be back.
He might be back. The impression I got is that he won't be. And with the future films, he might be back, but I don't see it.
Definitely not as the main villain. But yeah, I think there needs to be. I suppose there should have been something for what's his name, Tony Stark.
Well, did you like Ultron as a villain?
I like the voice.
Yeah, that was a loaded question, by the way. So when they announced James Spader, that's the guy who does the voice, and actually you can see all his mannerisms in the acting as well, so they probably captured that and did all that kind of stuff. When they announced him, I was like, great, because he can be very intimidating. In The Office, the American version, he's there for a season as the manager, and he's a really awesome character because he's extremely kind of intimidating. He's a real presence, but at the same time, there's something off about him.
Right.
Like, there's something not quite right. And you can see him trying to have those similar sort of ideals and that sort of presence where he's intimidating, but also a bit of a goofball in a way. But I don't think it worked. He wasn't intimidating at all. I think when you have a film like this, which is about this team of people who, in theory, in this universe should be the most powerful team because of they've got amazing powers and whatever. When they're going up against one person, although technically it's not a person, you need that person to be intimidating. You need them to be a presence and you need them to feel big and a real threat against the Avengers. I didn't really feel that at all. I feel like the major problems for the Avengers came from Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and didn't actually come from Ultron at all. Ultron just wasn't intimidating. His plan, I don't think made sense. I didn't like when he was created. I found it actually really confusing initially.
See, I was going to say that's the one time. Well, that's the most intimidating I think he was when he was just that ball of the blue stuff.
Yeah, when he has
Jarvis.
that voice. Yeah, when he has the voice, he's talking to Jarvis,
I think
and he's
that's
trying
when
to.
He was the best.
Yeah, absolutely. He's trying to figure out who he is and what has happened. He's really intimidating there. But when he builds the first time you see him, he's got a half body, and then he's just throwing Iron Man's robots at them. That's not intimidating. All he does is take over Iron Man's robots and use them against them. That's not scary at all. And then his appearance, he keeps building a new body, but they still just looks like Iron Man. And it's there's nothing kind of to that. And I just really wanted that intimidating villain, and that's what I thought it was going to be. Because this film is called Age of Ultron. Everyone kind of said how Ultron is such a threat and is a major threat in the comics and is really kind of impressive. And it's called Age of Ultron. That is a misleading title, if you ask me. It's not Age of Ultron. It's not an age. He's just the villain. So he comes in this film, the Avengers fight him, and then he's, goes away. That's a spoiler there, but, that's just the way it goes. So there's not any sort of age. He doesn't take over the planet or do anything like that. He just has a plan to destroy the planet and destroy the Avengers. And I wanted a bit more from him. I wanted him to do more, because he really doesn't do anything until the end, and then the Avengers stop it, and that's kind of it. So I thought that was really kind of disappointing, because something that I found disappointing about Star Trek Into Darkness, to go off on a tangent a bit, is that Benedict Cumberbatch, or Cumberbatch, whatever he's called, was a really intimidating Khan, and was that presence. And I was hoping for something similar to that with Ultron in this film, but it just wasn't. And they tried to kind of make him silly, and there's a whole thing about him singing the Pinocchio song about the string things, and the first time he does it is...
Oh,
yeah. Like, I think they wanted him to be, like, intimidating as a madman with his, like, the fact that he would sing this song to himself, but it just didn't come off as that to me at all. And maybe it's because of another problem with the film, which is, like, certain scenes are just rushed. Not all scenes, but certain scenes of dialogue feel rushed. And it's why I was confused about Ultron and what he was. Initially, they're saying, like, okay, here's an AI, and then he takes over, then he starts building his own body, and then he leaves through the internet. So I assumed he had hacked the whole network and hacked everything. But as far as I can tell, that he doesn't have that power, I guess. But then he was trying to hack the nuclear codes, but then he was like, he wasn't hacking into S.H.I.E.L.D. system. I thought it was really unclear, and they just kind of didn't spend enough time on, here's Ultron, here's what he is. Instead, it was just like, okay, Ultron's a threat, and then the Avengers are like, instantly, how do we stop this guy? Rather than Ultron actually developing as a villain. And I think that was a bit of a mistake, and I think that's just... James Spader is great, and he could have been something here. I just felt like in the end, as a villain, he was flat. Just a bit flat.
There was like one... It must have only been about 10 seconds, not even that, where it explains that he's no longer in the internet. It's when the Vision is... I think it was the Vision's going orange and making everything orange again. Like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, they were saying how he can escape through the internet. Yeah, and then in the final battle, the way they beat him is that Vision comes up to him and says, now you can't escape. And he's like, what? Okay, that kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, oh, alright. I mean, it makes sense. It's not bad, having, if we defeat all of the versions of Ultron here, then we win. Like, obviously that's what it's come down to, but it's like, that's a little just for the sake of the plot. They kind of threw that in.
And the thing is, the film isn't even short. It's a long film.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been longer, really.
Oh, God, no. Really?
Yeah, I felt... Maybe it's because I felt there was still stuff unresolved, but I felt like they could have added in another 10 minutes to flesh certain parts out. Like, once the film ended, I was like, oh, okay. Like, it did not feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes to me.
It did to me. But yeah, it's just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Definitely did to me.
Alright, well that's just where we differ.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so another thing, with Vision, that was weird. That was a little out of nowhere. Where Thor has a vision, and then he just flies off, speaks to a guy, flies back, makes vision. Like, that was really quick, how that happens.
Yeah, he flies off. You're right. Then he comes down and lightning bolts the thing and overpowers it, and then it makes the vision.
Yeah, it's just really out of nowhere, and they just kind of... I guess they wanted this character Vision, and they needed, like, the backstory to how he's created. But then with everything else going on, they had to make it, like... Because Thor just buggers off and goes into, like, a cave. And again, with some scenes just being really quick...
Oh, yeah, the cave.
It's like... Yeah, it's like 3 lines of dialogue. He jumps in a pool, electric flies out, then he's like, I know what I must do. Like, it's like, what? Why did you do that in the first place? What are you going to do?
And the guy's like, this is very risky. I'm going to do it anyway. It just goes in.
But what was risky? Like, I just didn't quite understand what was going on. It just kind of happened in front of you. And I was like, okay, sure, why not?
I think, do you know what I think that was? In all seriousness, that was maybe to fill the quota for shirtless Chris Hemsworth.
Well, you got to fill that quota.
And even then, I think some of it is... I think I saw one of the weirdest news headlines I read was that Joss Whedon, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah. Regrets cutting shirtless Chris Hemsworth scenes. Because apparently he cut out more of them. And he shouldn't have.
Well, they probably were important.
They were very important, yes.
But yeah, you can tell there was a lot cut out with the unresolved kind of stuff and some stuff being rushed. Because we already have it being announced that... I don't think it's officially announced, but there is going to be an extended version of the film when it comes out on Blu-ray. And I'm actually really interested in seeing that.
Alternate ending as well.
Yeah, I don't think it needs an alternate ending. I didn't think the ending was bad, and I like what it kind of sets up in a way. But I also like that there wasn't a proper end of credits scene. I think there was something in there, something in the credits, but there wasn't like a proper one. Because I don't watch them anymore. I just don't.
I got up and left as soon as the film.
Yeah.
The reason why it probably seemed so long to me is because I was uncomfortable. So as soon as that film was over, I'm out of there.
See, I was sitting at the back, and I was the first one to leave. I was the first one out the door. As soon as I saw the credits, I was like, right, I'm gone.
Because I know people are going to stay here. I'm not going to be one of them. I'm sorry.
No.
I can just look it up on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just looked it up online.
I was like, oh, cool.
There was something about the Infinity Stones or whatever, so setting up for free, and that was kind of about it.
There was another one as well, though.
Oh, whatever.
It was Spider-Man.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. But whatever.
But that was right at the end, so I'm not... I know people who made the film are very good, but I'm not watching the credits for that.
No.
Sorry.
I'll just read it, it's fine. But yeah, so there was also another thing, in terms of unresolved kind of stuff, I don't want to spoil this, but something happens involving the Scarlet Witch in the final battle, and I'm assuming that's going to get resolved in Civil War, but literally it happens and the ending does not address it in any sort of way.
What are we talking about here?
You know, with Hawkeye?
Yes.
The thing that involves him?
No.
And Quicksilver? Towards the end?
Can I... Right, what? Are you trying not to spoil that?
Yeah, I'm trying to be good.
Well, we've already spoiled it, haven't we?
Well, not big stuff.
Alright, fine. I think I know what you're talking about.
Where, you know, with that shot where Hawkeye's lying down and Quicksilver's lying down as well, and it's up above, and it's like, oh, it's been a rough day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, that happens and then they move on. And that's it. And I was like, well, you know, Phil in the first film got like 10 minutes of Iron Man almost crying, so I don't know why that kind of happened like that. So it's very, very, very messy. I probably should have just spoiled what that was instead of creeping over it, but whatever. But yeah, either way, that was another unresolved kind of thing that happened there.
You know what I thought was kind of a bit... Again, it's probably to do with deleted scenes and things having to be cut out. But they made a little bit of an effort to say how the two kids were trapped under rubble looking at a Stark bomb for 2 days. And I don't know about you, but that would probably leave some deep mental scars. And suddenly, they just joined Tony Stark without any issue. I know the world's about to blow up, but I would still be a little bit hesitant if that was me.
Well, obviously, in the end, they're going to do the right thing, because it's also... The final battle takes place in their country. So, obviously, because they're, you know, very passionate about their country, that's a big part of their character. So, obviously, something happens to their country, they're going to help and stop.
Yeah. Of course, but I didn't expect them to be so chummy.
Well, they didn't actually interact with Iron Man at all, really. They were talking more to, you know, Hawkeye and Captain America. They just didn't really interact with Tony Stark. Tony Stark were just flying around while they hung out with everyone else.
Yeah, I still think there could have been something though. Just as a shot or two of them. I don't know. Just
evil eye. So
No, they're not evil. It's just thinking about. It just seemed really kind of weird to me. But then the whole film seemed weird at some point, so whatever.
Well, I didn't think it was... I don't think it's necessary. It just would have been nice. But I don't think it was really necessary.
Well, then you could say that about a lot of things, though, couldn't you?
So what else seemed weird to you?
There's a guy in the last shot. I was like, where did he come from? I don't know where that... It was a Birdman or something?
Yeah, he's from Captain America 2.
So he literally shows up for the final 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it. Or was he in the party?
Again,
He was probably at the party.
Yeah, he was probably there. But again, it's like, you know the character, so you don't really need a big 10-minute scene involving every single one.
Just a name. I don't know who that is. Birdman.
No.
Vulture. No, that's the other one. I don't know.
It's Falcon.
Falcon. Right, okay. Great.
But, yeah, it's fine. I don't actually have that much more to say about it. I mean, my general thought is that it was good. I definitely liked it more than the first one. With all the different characters, I think it worked, and there was some good action in there. The Iron Man Hulk battle, when it first happened, I was like, oh great, Hulk's rampaged again. But in this one, they had more of a credible reason. Like, it made complete sense why he would be on a berserk rage like he was. Because that's something I didn't like in the first film. And it was apparently intentional. In the first film, it's really inconsistent with Hulk and whether he can control it and how Hulk acts when he is the Hulk. But Joss Whedon has said, like, while doing interviews for this film, it's like, well, in the original film, we got to see the two sides of the Hulk, the superhero Hulk and the darker side. And I'm just like, well, that's just inconsistent. It's not. They established the Hulk in that film, like, reboot the character for that film, and then have, like, no consistency. They're just all over the place. There's no explanation for what kind of happens. It's just sometimes he can control it, sometimes he can't for no reason. Sometimes he can just transform whenever he wants, sometimes he can't help it. I just felt it was really messy and horrible.
Did you not think that was the same for this film?
Well, with this one, I think it made more sense. Like, he was extremely cautious about it, and the general impression I got is that he couldn't really control it. But the fact that I guess he had the relationship with Black Widow kind of explains it a bit more, that, you know, he can control it because of her a bit more. Like, they did seem to establish some more rules. And when he goes truly mental, it's because the Scarlet Witch messes with his head, so that's fine. So it just kind of seems in general he can kind of control it, but not when, like, somebody's messed with his head. So I felt it was, you know, it was more consistent within itself, where it's like, yeah, he kind of can, but it's not guaranteed. Where the first film, it was just whatever. Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. That was just silly.
I still think it's a bit dodgy.
Well, sure, but I think my problem in the first film, he just suddenly can control it when he's in the final battle. Like, that just kind of comes out of nowhere. But in this one, it seemed more that he could be calmed down, he could be kind of control it a bit more, or definitely, like, enough. So it's not weird when he can control it.
Right, okay. It's just that one bit with near the end where she pushes him down the hole. And is it because she pushed him and she's there, now he knows not to hurt civilians? Because that's what he was saying before she did that. He was saying, you know, it's too dangerous for us to do this.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be. That she triggered it, so it's not as bad.
Okay.
But he's still, like, rampaging, you know. He's still doing crazy stuff. It's just... Bruce Banner is kind of still there.
Right. Okay.
Like, I don't mind it being vague as long as it's not just like, oh, now he can, and now he can. Like, you know, as long as there's some explanation. And with this one with Black Widow, I felt like there was enough. So it wasn't off-putting.
So then, with that in mind, would you say that the relationship stuff was quite necessary then?
Yeah, I guess it was. In the end.
Okay.
And with what happens with Hulk in the end, yeah, it was. But like I said, I don't think it was... I didn't dislike it at all. I didn't really have any problems with it, so I guess it was necessary on reflection.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking through the cast list now because there's so many damn people, and Well, they all did fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although actually,
go on.
let's just moan about Samuel L. Jackson for a moment.
Why? I liked him.
What is it? He just says nothing. Everything he says is nothing. Do you not think that? I don't think he said one sentence that kind of actually sticks with you. Everything is so, oh, we must do this, and no, you know what I mean? I can't describe it, but it's really annoying the way he spoke.
Yeah, I think when he was around in the farmhouse or whatever, I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Because I got the impression that they were hiding there because Ultron had hacked all the networks. But it turns out, no, it was just a place where Ultron wouldn't think to look. Even though he wasn't looking for the Avengers. Which was another thing that I was just confused by. Because it was like, oh, they're hiding because Ultron's an AI and can get into networks. So then it's just like, no. They then just fly away and use all the networks they want in communications. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. Why not?
So yeah, that was a little bit annoying. And then the helipad thing flying out of nowhere. But I forgive that because it's a comic book film. So whatever. Another thing I found slightly annoying, I'm just going to be nitpicky now, is it wasn't really funny. It wasn't very funny, and there were too many jokes that just weren't funny.
I thought there were some decent lines in there.
There were some decent lines, but there were also way too many lines that just were, for me anyway. Like the whole stuff with them swear, like, oh, shouldn't swear. Oh, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I think that was a bit much.
It's almost, and this is what I heard from Mark Kermode, who does BBC reviews, and he was reviewing this, and he said, which I think I agree with, that it's almost like two halves semi-fighting together in this film. One of them is the big, massive Goliath that is the Marvel Universe, and all of its characters and all of its plots. And then there's also, just for this film, Joss Whedon and his sort of little funny, goofy bits. And sometimes they mesh well. Like, for example, in the first Avengers where Hulk is swinging Thor around. That's pretty funny. And then other times they don't. They don't mesh very well. And that's what I found at points during this.
I didn't really get that. I felt like, I didn't laugh at every joke, but there were some I did laugh. And Thor 2, The Dark World, was so much worse with its humour that I guess I was just like, looking back on that film, like that was, oh god, that was terrible for its jokes. But this one was a lot better. Like the scene when they're all trying to pick up Thor's hammer, that was a funny scene. Funny, nice scene. And I felt like even if every joke didn't hit, it was necessary to have the jokes in there to establish the right tone. Which is, there's a lot of big stuff going on, but at the end of the day, these are superheroes kind of colliding and just joking around. I think that was an important part to have in this film, and it wouldn't quite be the same if they decided to tone it down or take out the humour.
I think in parts it would have been better. I think at some parts it would have benefited from having a more serious tone. Okay. But maybe that's for. I'm guessing that would be more for the other films where they're going to pit against each other.
Sure, I think so. Captain America 2 had a bit more serious tone.
Yeah. Less
jokes. I guess that was the thing that I really took from this film. And one of the major problems I had is that Captain America 2 was just better in like so many ways. Like there was more plot revelations, there was more scale to it, it was just more impact to it. So Captain America 2, this just confirmed that Captain America 2 is the best Marvel film. And while like I said, I did like this film, it's weird to have this one, the Avengers 2, the big Avengers, everyone coming together, not be as good and as big and epic as a Captain America film. That's really odd, but that's just how it is. And I think a lot of people would agree. Well, Captain America 2?
Yeah.
It was two brothers who are now getting the next Avengers films. They're getting Infinity War.
Well, that's a good sign then.
Yeah, so Joss Whedon's leaving and they're getting the people who made the best Marvel film and they're actually taking over the Avengers, so that's going to be really cool. I actually am looking forward to that now.
Cool. And when's that, 2017?
Yeah, and then there's another one the year after. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah, I watched the clip that your clip, which had me in it,
The one with me in.
the one with me,
The best one.
so I should know about it, really.
But yeah, so in summary, those are my thoughts. I think Captain America 2 was better, but this one, good characters, good action, was too rushed, could have had a better villain, and some stuff was skipped over that really shouldn't have been. But still, you kind of have to, you expect some of that from a film of this nature, so some of it can be forgiven, some of it can't, but I still enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I'll stick by my fine. I didn't feel like I was ripped off by or wasting time by going to see it. Yeah, I was entertained, barely. Time-wise, for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I would have, maybe a little bit shorter, I would have been happier, but never mind. And there was just enough sort of cool things to keep me, like the last, not the very last shot, but the last kind of fighting shot where it does it's just, set pieces like that are just, it's just pure entertainment that. There's nothing more to it. It's just visually interesting to the eye. And there was enough of that type of stuff to, warrant a fine. Not a rewatch. Wouldn't rewatch it. By no means. But yeah, good.
Well, better than the first for you?
Yes. I'd say
okay,
better than
yeah,
the
me
first.
too. I think better than the first.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think now you got to go and watch Captain America 2.
Apparently I do.
I don't... You don't
Netflix?
really need... Maybe. I don't think it is. You don't need to see the first Captain America, because the first Captain America is just the backstory and bringing him to the Avengers.
I actually already have, because that was on Netflix. Damn, so that means it probably... Yeah, the second one isn't on there. Oh, well.
Yeah, so I think you've already seen the first Avengers, so all you need to see is the first Avengers and then Captain America 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's stuff here in the second film that is going to make more sense after you see Captain America 2.
Like the guy at the beginning.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense.
Because that
after
made
seeing
zero
that one.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Is it like it's a nasty Himmler guy or something?
Well, I won't spoil it, but because it is really good, Captain America 2. But yeah, it makes this whole kind of phase feel really weird. Because the films you need to see, right, is Iron Man 1. You don't need to see the Hulk. You don't need to see Iron Man 2. You need to see 4. So Iron Man 4, the Avengers, Captain America 2, and the Avengers 2. Those are the films you need to see. And then everything else, completely optional, completely kind of pointless, and you don't need to see them at all. So I think I'm omitting the 2 Iron Man films, 4, 2. And yeah, so that's
Captain
like
America.
3... Yeah, Captain America and The Incredible Hulk. So that's 5 films you need to see, and 5 films that are ultimately pretty pointless.
Wait, what Incredible Hulk film are we talking about?
The Edward Norton one.
Is that included in this? Is that included in these films?
Technically, yes.
Was it what year was that?
That was 2008, same year as Iron Man.
Oh.
See,
okay.
it was weird because that is when they started being like, right, we're going to have all these films and we're going to make them and then put them all together with the Avengers. So they released Iron Man 1, then they released The Incredible Hulk, but when setting up the Avengers film and when making it, they then said, we're going in a different direction with Hulk for whatever reason. I don't know why. It must have just been Joss Whedon wanted his own Hulk. That's the only explanation I can think of, because if you watch The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton film, Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He shows up at the end and saying, we're forming this group, it's called the Avengers. And then you're like, oh my god! Completely not true, never happened, don't worry about it. Because the Avengers has Black Widow recruit the Hulk. So that film never happened. But it is technically part of it, but none of those events ever happened. So it's not a part of it.
Ah, poor Edward Norton.
Yeah, I really like Eddie Norton, so I don't know what happened there. I think Marky Mark does a good job, but I like Eddie as well.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about bloody Mark Wahlberg.
Well, I am, usually, but... Just
What's
like
his-
saying Marky Mark.
Well, okay.
And his Funky Bunch.
Well, easy now. All right. Yeah, that's his name, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. He was a lot more awkward in this one, I noticed. I know he was like, I guess, In the first one, he was just kind of around. I thought he was a bit more confident. With this one, I guess because he was so much more aware of the Hulk and so much more cautious about it, that it made him shy and awkward because he was, I guess, in a way afraid of himself, which was kind of an interesting way of playing it.
Yeah. Did you Did we talk about? Oh yeah, I guess we did. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
we did. Okay.
Scarlet Witch, played by the lovely Elizabeth Olsen, by the way.
Yes, I'm just looking now. Her name is
the
Wanda.
Youngest.
Wanda. Her name is
Wanda.
Wanda Maximoff.
But yeah, she's the younger sister of the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is interesting.
And
Tell
now
you what else I quite like though, very quickly. I liked the Vision. I liked the way he looked.
Yeah, I liked the way he looked and the way he was quite humble in his way.
I liked the way he looked and the way he moved.
You like the way he moved?
I like the way he moved. He's just floating down all the time. It's just nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really confused about the Vision though. I liked him, but I was a bit confused. Like, oh, he can pick up the hammer and he's got like a stone in his head and he was Ultron. And I didn't quite get it, but I still thought he was cool. I don't know. Is he meant to be like a god guy? I thought it was confusing about what the Vision was and what he was all about.
He's a Vision.
Yeah, I know. He was like Jarvis, and he's like Ultron, and he's like a stone, and he's like Thor. He's just like, okay, cool.
He is worthy.
He's worthy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
But I have no desire to see Thor 3 though.
Do you think that Paul Bettany, well, when he signed up to do the voice of Jarvis, they told him, yeah, you're going to be Vision eventually? Or do you think he just really lucked out? It's like, yes!
I think he really lucked out.
God, because that would be such a good call.
I just feel like a lot of the stuff with the Avengers comes down to what Joss Whedon wants to do and his ideas. And then I think Marvel incorporates certain stuff to be like, okay, you got to set up for these other films and it's got to be consistent. But I think a lot of it is just Joss Whedon, dictating that sort of stuff. So I think he was just like, right, we can take Jarvis and we can use him as the foundation for Vision. So I feel like that came from him. So yeah, I feel like he did luck out with that.
No, but do you think he was told that at the beginning? Because I have a feeling he must have planned ahead.
I don't think so.
No?
Jarvis was in Iron Man 1, which was 2008.
Yeah.
I don't think they planned it this far ahead.
Did you really? Do you not? Okay.
Okay, well, it's possible that they were like, okay, I honestly don't. I think at the time it was such an undertaking to have all these films be released and then go into the Avengers. I don't think they were thinking of the Vision at all. Like one particular superhero. Because really, we take, we now have this MCU, and it has all been set up, and now we're just, Marvel's building it, and we get to enjoy the films. But at the time, that was a massive thing to do, and I'm sure it was a massive thing for Marvel to do as well. It's a massive undertaking, so I can't imagine that they had all the individual stuff planned out. I think they just had the first 4 films and the Avengers planned out. I don't think they had anything beyond that.
But then why did they pick Paul Bettany?
I don't know.
What if they picked some, fat ugly guy to do the voice? Then what would they do?
The Vision comes out like, oh, right, guys.
Oh, where's the wheelchair?
Where's me? Can someone wheel me around? Thor, get the wheelchair.
All right, fine. Because I wondered if it was a bit like Alan Rickman and Snape, and how he knew about Snape from the very beginning, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just can't see it.
Because we can, but that's.
I think with voice actors though, they're not hideous monsters that you're trying to make out. Like you got like Troy Baker or whatever, and you got other people like people were saying how Nolan North should play Drake in the Uncharted film, and people were saying how David Hayter should play Snake in the film because these guys can do it. Like, I think if you become a big voice actor and do these big voices, it's because in general you probably are just an actor who can do that sort of role and can do roles. It's just you focus more on different voices because that's more where your talents lie. But most of these people can do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. But again, Paul Bettany is a lucky guy.
Oh, he pulled it off. He, very lucky and did a great job. But I think they were always going to pick a professional, and a professional in Hollywood is going to be someone who can do different roles, who is versatile.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I think we got that done. I don't think we can ramble on anymore about the Avengers. We got it out there.
Yeah, sorry, I was just still looking through this cast. There's just too many people.
Oh, come on. I was praising that.
Who was Maria Hill?
She was Kobe Smulders.
Yeah, but who is that?
The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the one who coughs testosterone. Yeah,
Who's Madam B?
Couldn't tell you.
See, that's gonna bug me.
Madam B.
Madam
That's
B.
the name of the character, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that Andy Serkis, whatever his name is, was in the film?
Yeah, he was good.
Madam B, what the heck?
I don't know. I just looked it up and
Doop-a-doo. Not Madam Butterfly, Madam B. Gosh darn you. Did I even type it right? Joe, look, who is this? Click on the link. Click a link.
Oh, it's Thanos. I don't know.
Oh,
it was his wife. It was Hawkeye's wife.
Oh.
Right.
Madam B, really?
Wait, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. Madam B.
What the hell? Is she gonna be like a superhero later on?
Possibly.
That's something I really hope they don't do, and I think something I like about the Marvel films so far is that they've been pretty good with this, is that they're not just turning everyone into a superhero. That's something that made me stop watching Arrow.
Yeah.
Arrow, everyone who is dead is not dead, and the majority of people become superheroes. It's really lame that they can't have a story where people actually die, and they can't have a story where people don't eventually start fighting crime. I think that's really lame.
Well,
no,
we're
Madam
all
B
superheroes.
isn't Hawkeye's wife, you silly goose.
She not? I just saw
Madam
something about
B-
his wife and kids.
I'm reading this on the Wikipedia page. Madam B is the person that mentors Black Widow to become an assassin.
Oh.
So in Black Widow's flashbacks, that woman that's shouting at her, that's Madam B.
Well, this is not what this website is telling me.
Not Mrs. H.I.
Well, this is stupid. Why don't you just name their characters? Right, she is Black Widow teacher. Not difficult, is it?
No, it's not difficult to use Google and Wikipedia. I agree.
Right, I'm not even... Whatever.
Whatevs.
Looking at the picture of the actress doesn't look the same, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What? Julie Delpy.
Julie Delpy. Funny name.
Well, she's 45, so I don't...
That was like the woman
Anyway,
who played
let's get off Wikipedia and Google. People at home can just Google all this stuff.
That they can.
But they won't. But right, so we got to move on from Marvel and stuff.
That was a bit awkward. We both took a pause to drink there. I think we was each hoping someone else would talk then.
Yeah, I thought I had time.
Sorry.
It was a long one.
Yeah.
What can I say? Right, so there's like other pieces of news, but they're all very small, so I think we'll just do them quick,
Lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round news. Here we go. So Mario Kart 8 DLC came out.
Cheeseland.
Cheeseland confirmed. I did a stream, which was a lot of fun.
Terrible. No.
Oh man. But I haven't quite got used to 200cc. But I already said a lot in the stream, so I won't break it down too much. But it's more Mario Kart DLC. It's awesome to see new tracks. 200cc is a whole new twist on it, and it's great to have new characters. And it's only £5.50 when you break it down, because it's 11 quid for the two. So great value for money, awesome content, exactly what I would expect from Nintendo, cause I'm a fanboy.
You're a Nintendard. What was it?
How dare you, sir? You got it right, a Nintendard.
Yes.
I don't think Retendo is quite as
No, it doesn't really
insulting.
Work. Nintendard. That's very difficult to say. As far as insults go, that takes a bit of effort to pronounce.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce if you're Nintendard.
Shut up. You know I'm not a Nintendard.
Just a tard.
Oh.
There was no need for that. I apologise.
Yeah, come on now. I'm simple, alright? Be consistent.
Let's keep this civil. Right, so that's that. Silent Hills has effectively been cancelled.
Oh.
There's a big... it's been going on for a couple of months and we haven't mentioned it, but Kojima and Konami are falling out. And Kojima was the big name behind Silent Hills. And now we have confirmation that PT, which stood for Playable Teaser for Silent Hills, is being taken down off PSN. So now you won't be able to download that anymore. And it's looking like it's just going to get cancelled. The Del Toro guy has said that the project's gone or he's not associated to it anymore. So it hasn't been confirmed, but Konami has pretty much axed the project and we won't see it anytime soon.
Oh, that's a shame. People seem to really be scared by that.
Yeah, Playable Teaser or PT was such a great opening for horror. I didn't play it. I really should, but it looked very scary.
Yeah.
But it looked very scary. It seemed like they knew what they were doing. Good people behind it. It seemed to be the right moment, the right time for Silent Hill to come back after the awful Book of Memories on the PS Vita. And of course it's not happening. Konami just can't make games. They just can't do it. I can't think of the last game they made that had any sort of impact. I think even during the 360 era, seeing a Konami game didn't mean anything anymore. During the PS2, it would have been like, hey, I'll check it out, Metal Gear Solid, that's fun. It would have meant something, but that brand means nothing anymore. And this kind of like cements that, which it's a shame, because they made a lot of good games back in the day.
I have no commitment to Konami, but yeah, what a shame.
It is a shame. Right, the next one, Black Ops 3 has been announced and revealed.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about this.
29th.
Not because I'm... Yeah, 29th?
Isn't that when the actual trailer's coming out?
Yeah, but there was already a gameplay
teaser.
Trailer today.
There was
a teaser, the 26th.
Or maybe it was the 6th. Maybe I'm getting the 6 and 9 wrong way around.
Yeah, there was a teaser, and now there was actually in-game stuff that was released today.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was 26th, not 29th.
Like, it was literally like an hour before we started recording this podcast, they showed it. So
yeah, okay, it must have been that.
Yeah, which there's not that much to talk about, you know. I'm definitely interested because Black Ops 2 had a very interesting campaign, and for me that means a lot to have an interesting campaign and to do stuff. Like that campaign, you were going between two different time periods, which was a really cool idea and a cool dynamic. It actually was connected to the first Black Ops, so it was nice to see a story flow and have it be very connected in a way that Call of Duty hadn't done. And there was a lot of cool gameplay stuff, like there's a whole section where you're using wingsuits to fly in the mountains and stuff like that. So there was a lot into that campaign. So I am definitely interested in seeing Black Ops 3 and see what they do with the next-gen hardware and all the stuff they can pack into the campaign, because Treyarch seem to be the best at that. In terms of multiplayer, I just can't get into online multiplayers anymore. I just can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. I just don't let myself get sucked in. And I'm also saving myself for Star Wars Battlefront, because if I play any online multiplayer, it's going to be that. So over the campaign is good, but I don't. We'll see.
Can I ask a question about Black Ops 2?
About 2? Okay, yeah. Sure.
Does it have Gary Oldman in it still?
Oh, I can't quite.
The Russian guy.
I think vaguely, but there was a very cool and interesting twist involving that character in Black Ops 1, which I don't think would make any sense for him to be in the second one. So I think he is in it a tiny bit, cameo-ish really, but that's it, not too much.
So he definitely won't be in 3?
No.
Oh, what a shame.
I don't think
so. No cyborg Russian guy.
Did you play, you play World at War, yeah?
I did, yeah.
Did you ever play Black Ops?
No.
I would recommend it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like it's...
get it on the cheap?
Yeah, get it on the cheap, just play through the campaign. Because again, I think it's like it's probably the best Call of Duty story. And it also does continue on from World at War in a really interesting way that I didn't see coming. And I would definitely play Black Ops 1 for the campaign. Because you got Vietnam and stuff.
Yeah.
There's actually... they do a really good job with those campaigns, Treyarch.
Okay.
Like a really good job.
You just brought up about Battlefront. Were you going to bring that up again?
What we can do.
Well, it's just a lot of stuff we said last podcast has kind of not happened. A lot of things we thought might be in the game.
Go on.
They're not. Galactic Conquest isn't going to be in there.
Is that confirmed?
I think so. I believe so. I mean, don't take that as 100%. But I thought it was pretty much, yeah.
Come on me.
No Galactic Conquest, and there's all that stuff about you can't ride AT-ATs or something.
Is that true?
They're scripted.
Ugh.
To ride through the map as you battle.
Well, yeah, I guess that wouldn't be too different from Battlefront 2, though. Like, they weren't scripted, but they essentially
They just walked, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't mind. If the AT-ATs are scripted, I think they can make that work. Because with Battlefield 4, they had scripted events, but they would change the map and a lot would be different. So I think they could make that work, but it's not a good sign. Certainly.
It's not. It's just sort of... I don't know. It's like, at least... Okay, you don't have to match everything that the second game did, but we're, we're over 10 years. When did it come out? 2004?
Yeah, it was same time as the third... Not the third film, episode 3.
Oh, that's 2005. So it must be 2005. Okay, so yeah, still 10 years. And it's just annoying to see some steps backwards.
I guess it's more in the kind of realm of realism. Because in Battlefront 2, you would walk up to it and literally disappear into it.
Yeah.
So I guess to see that... I think that would be fine, but I guess that's what they're kind of thinking. That to teleport, like tens and tens of feet in the air, or like 100, or however big the AT-ATs are, I'm not sure, but to teleport like that and just be in there would probably be a bit weird, and isn't the feeling they're going for.
That's a real shame, though, if that is their way of thinking, but whatever.
It's fine.
Whatever, we're still going to get it.
You can take my money.
Yeah, begrudgingly, just take it.
There you go.
But no, that's it. There's some other, negative Nancy stuff, but I can't remember it.
Did you see the cover to the game?
No.
I don't really like it.
Has it been released?
Well, on Amazon they have it, and it looks like it is the official cover.
Oh, live Amazoning now. Amazon?
I don't like where the title is. I like the image, but I don't like where the title is sitting. It seems like
just below the centre.
Yeah, it seems just poor graphical design or something. Like it's just aesthetically, I don't like where it is.
Negative Nancy over here.
Yeah, that's right. What of it? You want to make something of this?
Yeah, it does kind of...
Like, the image is cool, but why is it there? Like, I guess with that image, it has to be there. But I think it would have been better to move the whole image down and have it, like, at the top.
I think it creates a nice split between the AT-AT and the lone soldier.
No.
I think it creates a divide. I'm just speaking out of my behind now. I don't know.
But the title, I don't know. It just looks weird. It just looks out of place. Like someone had a cool image and they just needed the title to be in there. Like it didn't look like it was designed to be a cover to the game.
Right, now it's my turn to be negative, Nancy. I'm kind of annoyed it's not called Battlefront 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just why not? Why is there any reason not to? It's just annoying. That's just plain annoying.
Is it the Xbox 360, Xbox One? Now we have Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, why? Just call it 3. Come on.
I can't wait for Star Wars Battlefront 2, the second one.
Yeah. 4, 2.5.
Yeah, what if they do a sequel? They're just screwed. They have to call it Star Wars Battlefront Sagas or whatever.
The sequel.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Anyway, any other small pieces of news in the lightning round?
Couple more. Joker was revealed for Suicide Squad. I don't really like the look of it, but it's something different, so I guess I can't complain there. But
there has been rumours and leaks of photos that and this will please a lot of people, and that's he won't have those tattoos in the film, or at least not for all of it, because the tattoos are the slightly dumb things.
Yeah, pretty much. Because why would the Joker get tattoos?
Damaged. Oh
yeah, that's
the
really
worst.
That did seem like it was geared towards a 14-year-old emo girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm going to get that tattoo when I'm old enough to get a tattoo.
I'm damaged. I must tell everyone.
I'm going to ask my mum that I can get a tattoo. As she drinks like Monster all day.
I mean, even like the one on the arm is like a big smiley face, which I suppose you would picture him putting that in front of his actual mouth. Or something like that. They're kind of, fine. Damaged.
Damaged.
In a nice font as well.
Yeah, because like insanity, if somebody's insane, you would hope that their tattoos would reflect that, rather than having tattoos that make them look like they want to be insane.
Yeah, they would be bloody and scabby, and they wouldn't have healed properly. Things like that. They wouldn't
half wouldn't make sense at all.
Yeah, because you think they'd do it themselves. They would tattoo themselves or something weird like that. So, but like I said, people were thinking that's not actually how it's going to look.
Yes, well, that's
possibly
okay.
Yeah,
I don't think it really matters in the end, but whatever. So then the last one, which isn't really news, but I'm upset, is that the Yoshi's amiibo, the Woolly World ones, went up on Nintendo. No one told me they were up on the store to buy, so I missed out.
Oh no!
Not completely. But there was a pack, which was the game and all three of them. All three of the amiibos. Sold out already. In like 2 days, that's gone. So, then the annoying part is that I've pre-ordered like the special edition of the game, which comes with the green amiibo, the green Woolly Yoshi one, but they're not selling the individual ones yet. So if I wanted to get the green, the blue one, and the red one, I would have to buy the game 3 times and spend 150 quid.
Please don't tell me you're going to do that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Thank God.
But I'm annoyed that I can't buy them. Hopefully they'll release them separately. Like, I really hope they do, but at this point in time, I'm getting one of the green amiibos, or the green amiibo, and that's awesome. I can't wait to have it. But I need the blue and red one.
No, you don't.
I need them.
Green is a nice colour.
Green is a
good.
great colour.
I like green.
Blue and red, though.
I like green.
Joe. Simple Joe. I like green.
Be content with the green.
I like stories.
Green is good.
I'm happy with the green. I just also want the blue and the red.
Well, that's just being greedy.
Okay, it's not being greedy. It's just I'm getting the green, guaranteed, and the game, but I'm annoyed that I can't get the blue and red. But if they do become available separately, then I will buy them separately. You can't do it at the moment, so I'm a bit stuck, and that's why I'm annoyed.
You see, I would have thought you'd had some sort of a light bulb that started to flash when it was on sale, but obviously not.
Well, my
I thought
plan
you'd be prepared.
was, I should have been, but my plan is that I follow Nintendo UK on Twitter, and when the Splatoon ones went up, they tweeted the link the same day. They were like, the Splatoon ones are there, pre-ordering out if you want. So I could have pre-ordered like all the Splatoon ones or whatever, but I wasn't that interested. I might get the game. The game looks fun, and I've played it, and it was fun, but the amiibos, I don't care. So I was waiting for that. I was waiting for them to tweet it out, but they didn't. And then I'm finding out, while looking up stuff for this podcast, that Polygon bloody did a news report on it. IGN didn't. Why am I checking bloody IGN? They've screwed me over for the last time. But Polygon did a whole, you can now pre-order the amiibos. So if I had followed them and checked that website, I could have got the whole set, but I didn't. And
Oh, Tom.
it's all gone wrong.
The plan, it hasn't. You can recover from this.
Why?
There is light at the end of the green Yoshi tunnel.
We're all gonna die someday.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
There's that too.
you can die with your 3 Yoshis.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. God, I wish
Surrounded
I was
by only the Yoshis.
rich. Just the Yoshis. And then they come to life and push me out of my rocking chair.
Oh no, nice callback.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we always talk about death, so it's quite easy. That's always an easy one.
Yeah, death, time, Simpsons, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the drill. But no, so I'm hoping they will release them separately. And on game, they have the Splatoon amiibo separately. But on the Nintendo Store, they don't have the Splatoon one separately. So I'm hoping that it's going to be the same. That once game releases the Yoshi's Woolly World and the amiibos and the whatever, that they will have these separate amiibos. Because I've got to have them. I've got to have them, man.
I have a feeling you've got to have them. And I believe in you. There you go.
Yay. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. Simple Joe there to give you some confidence.
Simple
Support.
advice.
Yeah, it's simple. Just go get it.
See, yeah, so that was that. And that's the last bit of Spitfire news.
Spitfire.
I don't know why it's called Spitfire. It just seemed appropriate at the time.
Isn't there a nice ale called Spitfire?
Well, there's an ale. I wouldn't say it's a nice ale. I don't really like it.
Is it not nice?
Well,
I don't think I've ever had it. I just remember seeing it.
Yeah, well, I made a drink back in the day, and I named it after myself, including my last name, so I won't say what I called it, but it was when I was 17. It was a very good year.
17.
So, yeah, I was in like a country pub, and so they didn't really care at this point. They didn't mind that we were there drinking underage or whatever. So I decided I'm going to make a drink and name it after myself. And what it was a pint of Spitfire ale with a shot of Bull's whiskey in it. And it was disgusting.
Have you had it since?
No. That was the one and only time I ordered it.
Maybe you were too young. Maybe more mature tongue, taste buds. Or you like it.
Well, I do like ale now when I didn't back then. But this was rough. It was hot. It was like Bull's whiskey isn't a good whiskey. And mixing it with an ale. Oof. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad.
So you didn't drink a very good beer?
No.
What a shame.
No very good beer for me in that year. But yeah, I'm pretty much done at this point. Oh. So I've got everything I wanted to say out there. So what about you, Joe? Have you been playing any of them video games?
No.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you thought about it before saying no.
I did have to think for a second. I did have to think, and the answer is no. Sorry.
See, shouldn't you be playing Arkham Asylum or Arkham City right now?
No.
You do.
No,
What?
I
You
don't
got
need
tons
to.
of time.
I don't need to. Do I?
Well, you said you were going to play Arkham City because you didn't get the order. That was a promise.
Yeah. Not Arkham City. Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah, Arkham Knight. My mistake. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I will
There's
play
too
that.
many Arkhams.
But I don't need to have played the other ones, do I?
Well, they are still good games. You could probably skip Asylum, even though I like Asylum more than City. But yeah, you could probably skip Asylum and go straight onto City. I mean, it's up to you. I don't want to pressure you into
I
this.
just want to ride around in the Batmobile. All right.
Well, that's fun. That's fine.
Okay, good. But yeah, no games.
Okay. We'll just wrap this up then.
Yes.
We've done an hour 20. 50 minutes of that was on the Avengers.
It was fine.
It was a very good year. That's for sure. So, what's going on your channel, Joe?
Well, let's see now. The dig is probably going to end.
No.
Thank you. Probably sometime this week. And then I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because I still haven't really planned for the next Let's Play.
Oh, have you not picked it?
No. Shut up.
But what is it going to be, though?
I don't know.
Did the people's comments help?
Yes, they did, because it told me what type of genre. Definitely.
You just read my comment and then moved on, right? I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, skateboarding and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've still got to do that, but at the same time, I have some other videos. So there was obviously the Minecraft ones. I did some cool Minecraft ones, and we did a court case thing, which was pretty fun.
Oh, I haven't seen those yet, so don't give it away.
And I won't, but I had some fun editing that just to make it really silly. But also, there was Ratchet and Clank 3 multiplayer.
Sure.
With Edward the Guy, which I absolutely sucked at. Completely and utterly terrible.
Oh.
It was still fun, but don't go in there to go see high quality gameplay, because you will not at all.
What a promise.
Yeah, well, I've got to keep my expectations low for my audience, right? And that's about it, really. Yeah.
Okay, so
and
what?
streams
No
and stuff.
new LP next week? Just finishing stuff
Probably
off?
not. No, I'd be very surprised. I still need to think about it and then play it, and then that'll be a few weeks off. Yeah, I think.
Okay, cool.
That's not cool. I've fallen behind, but there you go.
Sick.
Pucker.
Ugh.
What about you?
Well, I finally got a review out. It definitely felt like pulling teeth finishing that and getting it done.
Oh.
It was just it turned out all right. It was there was two reasons why it took so long. It took like 4 weeks. The first one is that it's a game that I wanted to review and look at, but it wasn't like, oh, this is like the next game in a series that I've reviewed a lot, or this one's like continuing on from other reviews I've done. It's very much a standalone. If you're interested in the game, here it is. If you're not, then here it is anyway. So that meant that I was motivated to do it, but not as much as like something else that I knew people might be more interested in. Like when I was doing the Jack and Daxter review stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then the second reason is that I got interrupted. Like, just I was playing through it, and then I went on holiday, which is when we had the Cows Crazy Fun Time Hour. So I was actually just away and busy, and with the fact that I now work and everything, if I really have to stick to a schedule with the reviews to actually get them done, like I have to force myself to play it like every day and just make myself sit down and just do it. So when that gets interrupted, it just throws everything off. So that meant it just took more time. I was just being a bit lazy with it afterwards. But I got it done. I think it came out pretty good. It's just, it just took a while.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah. But I wasn't happy that it took so long anyway. Because I've had good intentions of getting reviews out as quick as possible without rushing them. It's just sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Patience is a virtue.
Stop just saying proverbs at me.
The early bird gets the worm. Oh, wait,
Well,
no.
No, not this time.
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the next one will probably take a while as well. But I've been trying. I've wanted to do it every 2 weeks, which in a normal set of 2 weeks is fine, but otherwise it's just a bit much. But anyway, yeah, so there will be a new review at some point soon. And I'm never going to just stop like I did before. Just sometimes they'll take an extra week or two to do.
Patience is a virtue.
That's the one.
Remember it, kids.
And then this goes up on Monday, this podcast. So today, Spider-Man has finished. It was only 10. I know. It was only 10 parts, but I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed doing that LP, mostly because I did commentary in post, so I didn't have to play it, so I could just enjoy it. And it was only 10 parts, but it was fun. I definitely had fun. And then next week, Super Mario Bros. 3 will also end. I think there's either 1 or 2 parts of that to go, because all I've got to do is World 8. So that might take 1 part, it might take 2, but that will finish anyway. So to set me up all nice for 2 new LPs, but they won't start next week because I'll have a few days break just to, break things up and make sure I'm all set up for the new LPs.
It's stressful being a YouTuber. You need a little break every now and then.
Well, it's just nice, I think, to have that small break. It just makes sense to have a, finish. And I think it's a bit weird to finish an LP and then 2 days later, here's a new one. I think it's nice to have that little break.
It's a cool down period.
Yeah, it's just, you've played a game. I did 10 parts of Spider-Man. That was rough. That was a rough time. Need a break.
Mm-hmm.
But I already have those picked out, the 2 games anyway, so they should be fun. I'm going to enjoy them.
Well, I know you're not going to give us any hints, so I'm not going to bother asking.
Nope.
Screw you.
Well, I'll give you the platforms they're on, but you won't guess them. One is on the 360, and then one's on the PS2. So there you go.
I think it's going to be Red Dead Redemption.
Again.
Could you? I think you, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I could have done that better. So you're going to do it again.
Well, it could be Undead Nightmare, but I can confirm it's not.
And the PS2 is going to be... Well, I know what it's going to be, but I won't say it because I don't want to ruin it.
What do you mean you know?
Because I know.
You know?
Tom, I know.
You don't know.
Let's just say it has a certain adventures of someone.
It's not. It's not Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh, damn it!
Not yet.
God damn it!
You can't blow that. You gotta be. Patient is a virtue.
Oh, damn it! Used against me.
Jackie Chan once said that.
Did he?
He came up with that proverb.
He is a wise man.
Exactly. A wise old man.
Fine. But
anyway, we're done here.
Alright.
So thanks for joining me, Joe.
Thank
as
you.
As always. And we will see you next... Actually, no podcast next week.
Ah, boo.
I just used my mind to destroy it in the future. So it's gone.
Okay.
It's over. But yeah, I'm busy. So no podcast next week. So it'll just... And no Cal's Crazy Fun Time Hour as well. I'll get him to do another one, or ask him to do another one at some point, but maybe it's a bit too early for another one. He's got to write some more cow jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, everybody.
See ya.